And this is Louise, and this is Saturday, the 20th of November 2010, and this is weekly weigh-in number 2. So last week I started on the new Weight Watchers Pro Points, and this week I'm exactly the same weight. Mainly, I think I didn't follow it properly, I didn't do my tracking, and also I was a bit resistant to starting it. I was very excited building up to it, but I think I'm going to spread it over a few weeks, getting used to it, because the Pro Points are a little bit harder to calculate. But there is a Pro Points calculator on the Weight Watchers site, because I didn't want to buy the Pro Points calculator, which is another £10 to that I don't feel like spending. So there's a Pro Points calculator on the Weight Watchers website, and there's also a weight tracker whereby you can look up your convenient foods, and you can also enter those foods where you already know the points. You can just enter the food and enter the points. So now everybody says I'm going to do what I'm not supposed to do, because the leader says don't try and compare the old one and the new one. But basically, I think you can compare them fairly simply. In the new program, you've got 29 points every day. And the way I compare them, this is the bit I'm not supposed to do, is for 1 point in the old plan, you now have 2 points. But it doesn't convert, not everything converts, because fruit is now free and you have fewer points overall. If you want more points, you have to earn them with exercise. This is all my interpretation of it. And it's quite hard work, because on the old program you got more points if you weighed more, and they've given that up completely. So everyone starts on the same basic points allowance, and which I thought was very unfair, because I was on 23 points and I'm now on, with my adjustment of saying 1 point equals 2 points, which I'm not allowed to do, but I am doing. It means I've only got about 18 points to play with, 18 old points, and whereas in new Pro Points I've got 29. But you've also got a floating allowance. If I add the floating allowance, which is about 50 points, it's 49, which I think is a stupid number. So I just think of it as 50, because I think that's a more sensible number. But it is actually 7 per day. So that is the sensible side of it. And so if I take it up to 36, then it's 18 points a day. Was it 39 or 40? I don't know, but if I add up, the way I work it out is it's about 18 points a day. But if I do some exercise, I earn more points. So for every 10 minutes of brisk walking, you earn a point. Well, that means if I do my hour's walk, then I earn an extra 6 points. And basically, with the free fruit, it brings me more or less up to what I was before. So essentially, you can eat everything you had before. There's no real difference in the program. That's the other side. That helps me, because I don't want to change everything. And there is a book whereby you can convert the Fabulous and Filling recipe book. So I've got the conversion and I've put it inside Fabulous and Filling, so I can use all those recipes still. And I haven't used that many of them explicitly. I have used the principles, and I have made some of them. There are some nice recipes in there, and you can basically convert them. So it's reassuring to know that there are conversions. Anyway, my weight, I should have said, my weight has stayed exactly the same, which I'm pleased about, because normally I got down to 14 stone 5, which is my 2 stone weight loss. The following week I put on some, and then I lost it. Somehow I've managed to keep it consistent, but this week it's been less of a strain, because most times what happens is Friday and Saturday I overeat like mad. Come Monday and Tuesday I start to panic, and then I do anything possible to get my weight down back to normal, and so I'm trying to get it a little bit more even. Having said that, I can now spend some of my additional points on the weekend, should I so wish. And I think that makes sense because you need times when you chill and you celebrate. And I think it works better not to eat exactly the same every day. There needs to be variety, and variety in the amount. And so if I go up to maintain weight calories, but not over, then that sort of makes sense. Now, calories don't sort of feature completely on the Pro Points, because instead of calories, what they're saying is that some foods use up energy when you eat them. So some foods are zero. Well, we had 0 point foods before, and that was vegetables, but we've now added fruit to the 0 point vegetables. So that means I can make a lovely apple and red cabbage dish in the slow cooker, and I can add a handful of raisins, and it's more or less points free. And that is a nice filling winter warmer thing. And you know, I put in about a teaspoon of brown sugar, and that just gives it enough sweetness. And well, I do point up that sugar. So, but it's fairly minimal. And then so I've got a number of vegetable dishes, you know, my stock things like ratatouille. I've got something else called chakalaka, and I will at some point give you the recipes for those. I think ratatouille is a nice filling dish, and so is chakalaka. You can make a veggie moussaka, but then you get into the realms of putting cheese on top. However, that's another story. But things that are just pure 0 point vegetables, and also soups, 0 point soups. And there's a lovely tomato and pepper and red pepper soup in the latest. It's online, I think. Anyway, so that's me. I'm all the same. And so next week I'm hoping to get into under the 200s. I haven't aimed to do it too soon, because I think getting to the 2 stone was enough of an excitement. And as you know, I'm a slow, steady loser. And so I want to get under the 200s, and certainly well before Christmas. I'm starting to plan my Christmas meal, which will have a lot of roasted veggies, I think, to make the whole thing nice and warm and comforting. Oh, and also I'm doing Meals on Wheels for some of the elderly people on Christmas Day. So we're going to have a sort of big breakfast, and then I'll do my Meals on Wheels, and then I'll make my own Christmas dinner, perhaps rather later in the day when I've done all my my rounds of Meals on Wheels and stuff. Anyway, that should all be very exciting. Okay, thanks for watching.